Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to Star Wars Real Talk. Today, I'm excited to finally have the legendary XWING on the stream. How you
What's
doing,
going
man?
on, man? How you doing? That freaking intro got me all hyped up.
I know we're all dancing before it started.
Love it.
Yeah. How are you doing today, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Had kind of a late night last night. I'm actually still in PJ pants. I just smashed a cup of coffee and a bowl of ramen, so I'm ready to go, man.
Attaboy. I'm glad we're on the same. I'm glad we're on the same page. I'm kind of in a similar place.
Yeah.
So, usually, what we do is we open things up just by talking about your Star Wars experience, because everybody kind of has a different angle as to how they got into Star Wars. Kind of their when I ask people what their first experiences with Star Wars, their first memory, it's always a totally different thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was toys for me, actually. Obviously that carried on into my adulthood, but yeah, I started out. My middle brother was a Star Wars fan, and he had a lot of the Power of the Force vehicles and stuff like that, TIE fighters and Tantive and all that kind of stuff. So I started playing with his stuff. I think I was about 4 or 5, and I was like, "Oh, what is this from? What are these things?" And so he showed me the original trilogy, and I just absolutely fell in love. Like, I mean, I must have watched it 100 times in a year. I was just like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, because there was nothing else like it. It felt vintage, but at the same time, it didn't. It felt super current.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what movie was out at the time?
I'm talking about the original trilogy.
So all 3 were out.
Yeah, yeah. I was born in '90, so.
Okay. So that's really interesting that you say the toys were the gateway. It's usually it works the other way around. Did you find that like you were into the toys and then like you went through a phase where you were done with them and then you brought them back, or were like the whole way through?
Yeah, there was definitely a time where it was done. I think I'm trying to remember. I don't know. Gosh, kind of not really, because like I was playing with the toys and I was super into them and I loved them, and then I guess I kind of started to wane off, and then boom, the prequels hit. and then it was like, that was an insane wave of toys.
Yeah. Oh, I believe it, man. When I got into Star Wars Episode 2 came out, and I had all these Episode 2 toys.
Yeah.
And as you know, I grew up, moved out of my parents' house, and then it was like purging the toys. And I didn't realize that I was going to come back into Star Wars so hard when Episode 7 came out.
Yeah.
Oh, what I would do to get those toys back.
Yeah, it's insane. My brother had I don't remember who I was talking to about this, but yeah, my brother had tubs and tubs of the Power of the Force stuff and the vehicles and a bunch of the figures, and yeah, he gave them away at a garage sale.
Oh, that's rough.
It was rough.
Yeah, I was actually just talking to a buddy about this the other day, and he was saying how, and he grew up with the OT, and he was moving out of his parents' place, and he was taking all this stuff with him, and he had this big box of pencil crayons, and he moved out, and he's like, yeah, I think that I'll probably use these pencil crayons at some point. So he brought them with him in his move, and then he moved again, and then he had these pencil crayons, and he's like, you know what? I don't think I need to bring these with me again. Like, I didn't really use them. So he like dumps them out. And at the bottom of this pencil crayon box was a bunch of original OT Star Wars toys. Like,
no way.
Solo, like he almost just tossed them all out.
Like the Kenners?
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, they're obviously they were all open because he like played with them as a kid, but still.
Yeah. You don't get closed Kenners anymore.
Yeah. What are your like the Kenners are your go-tos, I'm assuming?
No, I don't have a single Kenner.
No?
Yeah, so that's the funny thing. A lot of people ask me about collecting, and they're like, oh, what's the most expensive thing you have? And like, what's, just kind of like, what are the big ticket items? You know what I mean? And I tell them, like, I don't really have that many big ticket items. A lot of this stuff is just stuff that I think's cool. So when I saw it, I bought it. And, if it's got a low price tag, awesome.
Yeah. Well, the Kenner thing kind of confuses me, because aren't they like still putting out Kenner toys?
Yeah, that's kind of what they're doing with the vintage collection. It's like re-releasing. Yeah. So, but the original Kenners, I mean, like, it's like Gucci bags. They're like fakes out there, and people will inspect them and know like the shade of the color of Boba's right arm isn't right, and it's crazy.
So you think they're just kind of slapping the Kenner name on stuff just to push it?
No, I don't know what the deal is between them and Hasbro, but they have something going on. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I've recently gotten since I've leaned so hard into Star Wars lately, which was thanks to the pandemic. I
Yeah,
started going back and buying prequels toys just because the nostalgic value. Because like man, that
it's
Darth
huge.
Vader packaging on those
Yeah,
Episode 3 toys, like
yeah.
it makes me feel like I'm in the store walking through the aisles,
Are you
looking at
talking
them
about
hanging.
the red card one? Got
The
the red back on it?
it's the fireback with the
Yeah,
Vader
yeah,
helmet.
yeah. Yeah, I know. You see that and you're just like, oh shit, like I'm 12 again. Cool.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, why everyone collects things for a different reason. I feel like it's not
Yeah,
always that nostalgic reason.
yeah. Yeah, to me it's, I mean, it's whatever scratches that itch, you know, at that particular time. If there's something cool, I mean, this is chaos behind me. It's absolute chaos. There's no rhyme or reason. A lot of people have like they'll have a line of Power of the Force 2 all in one section, and they're all card backed and hung up on pegs and perfect. And that's just not me as a person. You know, that would drive me insane if I had that. It's got to be all out in the open where I can see everything, and it's I don't
Mm,
know. That's just the way I collect.
yeah, there's a chaotic order to it.
Yeah.
So when you do collect things, that being said, is it like you're looking for sets of anything, or it's just totally whatever?
It's totally whatever. Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason. A lot of people are asking me to make videos of like, how do you collect? Like, what's the stuff you look for? There's no rhyme or reason to it at all. I think that's what makes it beautiful. Yeah, it's chaotic.
Dude, you've got a lot of content you could put out on your channel. Just like every video, just showcase one thing. You just have
Yeah.
content for years.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. There's a lot of stuff, but I don't I'll figure something out eventually because people are saying like do a collection video. We need to see everything. Do a collection video. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel kind of vulnerable. Like this is my this is my cave, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I feel that, but it is on display
Yeah.
behind you. So
Yeah. There is a lot of stuff you're not seeing on the other wall.
this is the nice wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's eventually like I got for my backdrop. You would have no idea. Even my hat, you have no idea that I'm a Star Wars YouTuber. But eventually, I'm moving to a place where I'm gonna deck it out a little bit. But I got some
Nice.
collecting. I got some collecting to do in the meantime.
Yeah, when you move in, let me know. I'll send you something from here.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
make sure you sign it so when you're big one day, I can boast about the value.
In 45 years, it'll be up to $2 on eBay.
Yeah, that's funny. So where can you see yourself taking your channel? Because right now you are very much in the collectible scene. Do you think you're gonna
Right.
ride that way for a bit?
I don't know, man. Another thing, like chaos right now, it's everywhere. Like I've been a community Star Wars channel. I've been doing gaming. I've been doing unboxings. I've been doing uh-oh, did I lose my connection there?
No, you're good.
Okay. I've been doing collabs with other content creators. Like I don't think I ever want to settle into like a niche. I just kind of like doing everything. So hopefully
Yeah.
that works out.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely the best approach. Like, it's really easy, like to put yourself in a box, you know.
Yeah.
Especially with YouTube, like we all kind of. This is the difficult thing: is that on YouTube, niches do really well, but
Right.
even those niches can have niches, and it's like, where do you
settle
draw the
that?
line? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could totally do it. I could sit and talk about collectibles and models and stuff all day, absolutely. But I'm having so much fun with the community that it's more fun talking to the community right now than it is talking about the collectibles. So for now, yeah, I'm kind of just doing whatever comes up.
Yeah. Yeah, you're popping up everywhere, man. You've been featured everywhere.
Spamming YouTube.
Well, it's good. You're becoming a face for Star Wars.
Nice.
You're a very friendly, happy face, and you support everybody. I think it's really good energy that you're bringing.
Nice. I appreciate it, man. Awesome. Yeah, the community and the Discord and everything has just been awesome, dude. It's multinational already. We've got Germans and French Canadians and UK boys, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Anyone watching, if you haven't joined his Discord, you should definitely do that. It's cool how you set that up with the XWING thing. Where'd you get that idea from?
Well, it was actually so Braden is the mod for the Discord. I think it was a day or two after I got off with Theory and that the second council, and I had a little bit of a channel. I think I had like 3 videos that were in like 240p. They were just god awful, but I didn't care. I wanted to get started. You know what I mean? And he said, he was like, "Oh yeah, you got to check out Discord. How's your Discord?" I'm like, "I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is." And so he kind of told me about it, and at first I was kind of thinking that maybe he was like some dude looking for money, like, "I'll set up a server for you for X amount of blah blah blah." And I was like, I'm not really interested, man. I don't really have any money. He's like, "Oh, no, 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 no. I just want to do it for you for free." And so we sat there and built up the Discord and talked, and then set up the squadrons, and then people just started running away with it. They started making recruitment posters, and that's all them, man. It's a beast on its own now.
Yeah. Well, that's so smart, because you give people that permission to express themselves in that way, and a little bit role play and escape.
Oh, absolutely role play. That's what I'm doing when I'm in there. I mean, I'm like, yeah, I'm a commander. Like, yeah, we got squadrons on it. It's totally fun.
Yeah.
And people were asking me, like, when are you going to make a rules list for the server? I'm not, I mean, maybe if it explodes and I'm possibly getting in trouble for like legal stuff, then yeah, I guess. But I mean, we're all sort of adults, so it's fun.
Yeah, I have kind of a similar story. I wasn't in any Discords until I was in Star Wars Theories, and then I decided to make my own, because up to that point I was just doing Star Wars Instagram, and it is so boring. I'm sorry. I mean, Star Wars Instagram, there's a scene there. There's definitely a community of people that like interact and collab and stuff like that, but it's just like a picture on an Instagram story. It's nowhere near what
there's no lifeblood there. There's no yeah. Instagram is something that's never really made sense to me. I have one. And my friend Erin that lives in New York, she's like a social media manager or something. She's like, "You got to get on there and engage and do all this different stuff." And I'm like, "Do I have to do that?" And she's like, "Yeah, do it." So it's cool because you get responses, but it's everybody that's already in the Discord anyway. So
yeah. I got a collector's question for you, and I'll probably throw a few of these at you, because as I'm looking at you, I'm seeing them behind you and things are popping in my head. Do you have like if you were to tier collecting, like what is top tier collecting, what is like entry level?
Well, it depends, because it's so multifaceted. I mean, like, are we talking about figures? Are we talking about like helmets? Are we talking about sabers? Like,
yeah. Yes to everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, like you're someone who you call yourself a collector, right?
Yeah.
So you must have a kind of a hierarchy in your head.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think for me, the top tier, like the one I'm always looking to get and can never afford, is going to be Master Replicas, because they went out of business, and I think it was like 2005 or 6 or something like that. It was right after the prequels. And they had so much stuff that was licensed by Lucasfilm, and it was accurate, and there were artist proofs and limited releases and signature series where, the actors had signed stuff, and it was all gorgeous. And it was reasonably priced then, but once they went out of business, and now on the secondary market on eBay, those sabers are going for, if you can find one, those sabers are going for like $8,000.
Wow, I did not know that, but I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, I think the one I want the most is it's a signed Carrie Fisher thermal detonator from Master Replicas. That's like, I think that's my holy grail. Like,
that's so specific.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it just sticks with me. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, now you got my mind wandering what else there could be.
There's all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I mean, if you do a deep dive into eBay, just type in Master Replicas. They have the sabers. They have like I said, the signature series stuff. They have the point, I think it's like 0.45 or whatever it is, the miniature sabers. That's a little bit more friendly to collectors. I mean, you're probably only paying like $200 to $400 for one of those, and it's just a little bitty lightsaber. Yeah.
Speaking of detonators, I watched that one video you had where you flexed that thing. You're like, look at this cool thing. We'll talk about this at some point. Never comes out again, or did it? And I missed it.
No. You haven't missed it. No, I am in works with Star Wars Obsession right now to update the setup and how the videos are going to go. So I got a new desk, and he's getting me a switchboard and a new mic. So when I do these videos, and I can actually like work on stuff, I can hit a button and then it'll go to a top-down camera or a side camera, so I can actually show you guys how to do it. Because I had that thermal detonator and I'm holding it in front of the camera and I'm sanding it and saying, like, look at this part, and it's like, nobody wants to watch that. That's crap.
Oh, you'd be surprised, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you made that thing?
Yes. Yeah. So, well, it comes from a couple different pieces from stuff on Etsy.
Sorry to interrupt you. Do you have it like nearby?
Yeah.
Just so that people can see it.
Yeah.
It is very cool.
I'm in my PJ pants. Don't make fun of me.
You're good. This is this is the Star Wars. Oh, you don't have headphones in.
We're all in our PJs.
This is the Star Wars community. I don't think you have to worry about pajamas.
Yeah. So this is the detonator, and then it's just got a little flip open right there. So the battery's dead in it right now. I got to replace the battery, but it does have electronics. So you order the 3D print kit off of Etsy, and then you got to do a lot of work to get it chromed nice with airbrush and stuff like that. And then there's an electronics kit that they actually sell on Etsy as well. And once you've got it all sanded and pretty and ready to go, you pop the electronics kit in there, and then there's a little momentary switch that you just glue in underneath. When you hit it back, the LEDs turn on and the speakers turn on, and it's the coolest thing ever. Yeah,
the speakers, that's what's cool. That's the lights and the sounds. It's a full sensational experience.
Yeah, the guy nailed it.
Like, could you see yourself building something else? Why not go for a lightsaber?
Yeah, I would love to. Absolutely. But that's tough. That's tough, and that's expensive.
Yeah, that's like a year-long project or something like that.
Yeah, and it's tough sometimes when you're trying to do a video like that. Like I said, I've already done a run through it once, and I was super unhappy with it, so I didn't put it out. But you can't always sit down and do it all in one take, and so it looks really funky if you're working on it, and then you come back 2 days later and you got a different shirt on, and it's super sunny out, and then it cuts back to nighttime. It's just kind of weird,
Yeah, I hear you. Well, that's really cool. I was gonna ask you, do you have a favorite era, Star Wars? Like, these are some surface level questions, but it tells a lot about the person.
Yeah, honestly, it switches back and I don't know, man. That's such a hard question to answer. I mean, are you talking like movies or just overall? Are we talking like expanded universe and?
Well, okay, you can pick. We can go trilogy or we can go era of any kind.
So my favorite era for sure is the Old Republic. There's so much cool stuff in there. It's really awesome. Trilogies, for sure, it swaps back and forth between the original and the prequels. Everybody makes fun of the prequels because there's like just drama, like like clutching my pearls kind of stuff. But I love it. That's what it is. It's a space opera. So
yeah. And what's cool about the prequels is like the rewatchability over time. It's actually insane the things you pick up on every time you watch. Like, I feel like every time I watch episode 1, I'm still learning stuff about it. Like, I'm understanding the politics a little more. I'm actually understanding what the Trade Federation does. Like stuff that like when you're a kid, it's like you're just waiting for the lightsabers to come out.
Yeah, when does the pod race come? Yeah, it's cool. And especially now, diving into I'm getting back into some of the EU books because I read them a while ago and I haven't picked them up. But yeah, rereading Plagueis and hearing Palpatine talking about what's going on in the Senate and how Plagueis was backing him in the Senate and then watching that unfold it's really cool. Yeah,
that's on my to-do list. Oh, I got to get into that. Are you an audiobook kind of guy?
Yeah, so I'm an HVAC and refrigeration tech, so I'm like piling around on the roofs constantly, and I have been chewing through audiobooks.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think I've done like 4 or 5 in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it, man. You're getting paid listening to Star Wars. Like, can't think of anything better.
Yeah, it's been killer. I really enjoy it. Yeah, have you been through any of the books yet, or?
No. Okay. I used to really be into reading, and then in university, over 5-6 years of university and reading, it just killed it. I bought in books since university. I I can't get past a chapter because I can't. But
Just can't get back into it.
I can't get back into it. It just feels like work. So I don't know.
I highly recommend Audible, man, for sure. Like anybody who doesn't like or doesn't have the time to read, Audible is absolutely amazing. And it's cool because they do the Random House publishers. They're licensed with Lucasfilm to do the sound effects and everything. So
cool.
That's the cool part. Yeah, when Plagueis is talking to Palpatine, you hear Palpatine light his saber up, and it's his saber, and all the sound effects are there and everything. It's just like watching a movie in the background. Okay. Yeah,
I did not know that. And if I had a Audible sponsorship, I would have just slid that in right here.
Yeah, I wish I did, man.
Yeah. So live action aside, you're into the animated scene?
Yeah, I wasn't for a long time. I never really sat down and watched the Clone Wars until I think like 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And then when season 7 came out, it just completely reignited it for me, and I got way back into it.
Yeah, it got real in season 7. It was pulling in people that do not watch the animated series.
Yeah, there was some good stuff there for sure. And it was kind of cool going back because I just remembered snippets of it from watching a little bit here and there when it was on like Cartoon Network when I was a kid, or I don't remember what it was on. But yeah, going back and watching it, it's been cool. And, I did Rebels as well. I had read through all the Thrawn books before I watched Rebels, so it was cool to see him come in live action.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to comment on it, but that's also on my to-do list, so we will have to talk about that later.
Okay.
I saw you
haven't seen Rebels yet?
No, I've seen Rebels, but I haven't read the books.
Oh, I gotcha.
I saw you and Star Wars Santa chatting in, what was that, his Discord or your Discord?
That was his, yeah. Yeah, I saw he was talking about the Thrawn books, and I mean, it's been pretty recent that Zahn put those 2 out, so nobody's read them yet. And me, I'm done with them already. I'm waiting for November to show up.
Yeah.
And so it was cool just to get to talk to him about it and hear somebody else's opinion, because it was crazy.
Yeah, I can only imagine like villains that are masterminds and very strategic thinking. They're always so much more interesting, even when they don't have any like physical power.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying to him. And it's weird because everybody says like villain, and to me, Thrawn is so not a villain. He's a hero to me, man. Just because when you read through the books, you're like, you love the guy. He's absolutely awesome.
So like he's the main figure of the book, and he's like kind of the protagonist.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, there's like 11 Thrawn books, I think, in total.
Wow.
There's the 2 trilogies. And then there's all the offshoots that go along with it. So yeah, he's in like a bunch of stuff. And that whole side of the universe that they get into in the new books, which is the chaos and where the Chiss ascendancy is and all the stuff that's kind of in the unknown regions. It's awesome, dude. They could go on for years with that stuff.
Okay, that's good. I'm really excited that I have a lot of stuff to.
Oh, there's content, man. There's a lot of content.
Yeah, I saw you and Santa talking about it, and I was like, I wanted to jump in there so much, but I didn't. I was like, I better wait.
Yeah, don't spoil it for yourself.
Yeah, but going back to season 7, what's really cool about that time frame in Star Wars is like, I don't think we realized it at the time how pivotal that. I mean, obviously, Order 66 was pivotal, but like, I don't think we realized how many different angles we could look at that from.
Yeah,
and everyone's perspective on it's totally different.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's cool because we get a deep dive into those stories that didn't get told. You know what I mean? I mean, just seeing, Ahsoka and Rex was just like, that was heartbreaking. I don't know if I wanted to see that. You know what I mean? I just I hope in my brain she's off and fine and doing something else,
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. So are you like with Bad Batch? I'm just thinking like we have all these like awesome Star Wars stories. Do you think that it's a smart approach that they're doing, like animating, or do you wish that like we'd wait a little longer and get a live action?
It's tough because as fans, we're always hungry for something, and it feels like part of me says like, I will wait, give me amazing content. The other part of me says like, I don't care, just give me something. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I'm feeling with Bad Batch. I don't dislike it at all. I like it a lot. It's slow right now. I think it's just kind of slow, and a lot of people are really hoping for a ramp up But I mean, when you look back at Clone Wars, you know, this was a lot of what Clone Wars was. They were just kind of mini contained stories, you know.
It's true. That's a really good point, actually. But the Clone Wars was so long that no one had any expectations. Also,
right.
It blew up after. It pretty much blew up after it was totally done.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as all good things do, generally they get pooped on a bunch when they're out, and then, you know, 5, 6 years later, 7 years later, people are like, "What? You haven't seen that? You have to go watch it."
Yeah, and now with Bad Batch out, it's like we have these crazy expectations that every episode has to be an absolute banger. But
yeah,
do they have a responsibility to make them bangers? Because it's Star Wars, and why not make them really good?
Yeah, absolutely, and they do. You know, that's something people talk about a lot. They're like, "Oh, well, you know, you just don't like Disney or whatever." You know, it's not their job. It is their job.
Kind of, yeah. It is.
We're paying them for it. You know what I mean? There's this weird relationship now between consumers and Disney where it's like they're our parents and they know what's best for us. I'm like, no, I'm a consumer and I'm paying you money to give me something that I want. That's how business works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
if that's not their job, then what is?
Yeah, exactly. So, and they've been entrusted with something that's extremely important to a lot of people, and it's something that literally just prints money if you do it right. So,
exactly. And it seems like that's kind of the way it's gonna go. Because for a while there, they were kind of like, "This is our Star Wars now," and then they put out the 3 movies. And now I feel like they're probably listening a little bit closer now.
Oh yeah, they're backing down for sure. I mean, don't get me wrong, the movies definitely made money, and there was stuff that made them money. But I think the problem is that it was a real quick flash in the pan, and then nobody was interested in it anymore. And they were pulling the Rey stuff off the shelves, they were pulling the Kylo stuff off the shelves, and putting up Mandalorian stuff. So I hope they don't do that, where they just try to flash in the pan a couple different things and you know, sell a bunch of toys. I hope they make something that's enduring. Like Mando is starting to feel like it's going to be something that's pretty enduring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So do you, like, this is something that I've talked about quite a bit on my channel is the aging of the sequels, because the prequels, as we know, when they came out, it wasn't like, it was like people enjoyed it, but obviously it had its hate, right?
Oh yeah.
But it aged like wine. Like it aged really well. Even the CGI and stuff like that. Like, for its time, we can appreciate it. You know, it was still revolutionary and whatnot. But in your opinion, how do you think the sequels are going to age?
That's a really tough question. That's a really hard question to answer, because I think the reason why it's hard to answer that question is because of how much the way we all interact with each other has changed. You know, when the prequels came out, I wasn't on YouTube watching reviews or on Twitter talking to people about what it was, or, you know, any of that stuff. So there's a lot of popular influence going around when it comes to the sequels, and I think that's really going to affect how it's looked at. I don't know that they're going to age like the prequels did. Yeah, I hope that they do and that it can be enjoyed, but I personally don't think they will.
Yeah, I think you made a really good point. Really good point there about how I didn't even think about that. The fact that we are so cautious and we dance around how we give our opinions, that is 100% going to affect. Like, are like in 10, 20 years, are we going to look at the sequels as a touchy subject? You know, are we going to be a lot? Are we going to feel like we can talk about it then?
It's become like politics. You know, if you say the wrong thing, you're labeled as a shill or like a toxic fanboy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which is shenanigans. We shouldn't be treating each other that way, but that's just how it is.
Yeah. It's funny that you bring up politics, and it's like the prequels had so many politics in them. This is kind of a total side note, but the sequels didn't really have any politics in them, and that almost made them a little bit less, like there's less to chew on, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, George went a long way to flesh out his world as a real place. And yeah, politics is boring as hell, but guess where it happens? It happens in the real world. So it kind of drags you in a little further. You're like, oh my God, man, this is really happening. Like, do I have to watch? This is really happening. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It does make it very real though.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I mean, this might be a stupid point, but the real life is boring sometimes too.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, for me, George's stuff is always going to be my Star Wars. I really love Filoni, and I love the stuff that he's doing, and I can't wait to see what he does moving forward. And everything he makes, it feels like Star Wars, which is awesome. But I mean, my home is always going to be, 1 through 6.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you 100%. Does George have kids?
Yeah, his kid was in Into the Sith, actually.
Okay, how old? Like, does he have a son or?
Yeah, he has a son. I think he has a daughter who was in one of the films as well. Don't
that sounds
quote
familiar.
me on that, but yeah, the when Bail Organa pulls up and the 501st is there with I think it's Wolf, or I don't remember who's there. And they tell him, sorry, it's time to leave, and the kid comes out and starts killing off the troopers. That's George's son.
Yeah, I think I heard something about that.
I
wonder how old he is now. And I'm only saying this because it'd be cool if at some point he took over his dad's empire, or his daughter did the same thing.
Yeah, we've lost that chance now, though. With Disney taking over, I think Filoni's pretty much our best shot at getting continued George style content.
That's kind of crazy. I wonder if one of his children stepped forward and they kind of leaned into that a little bit, and made money off of it somehow. You just gotta show them how they can make money and they'll do it.
Yeah, God, I hate that. It's so true, but I hate that. Yeah, it's interesting because I look at Filoni and what he's doing, and I can really tell that he's trying to emulate what George was doing. But I've also noticed that he really, what's the word I'm looking for? He very literally takes the inspirations that George used and puts them in. So the Kurosawa stuff, the samurai stuff, the Westerns. When you look at Mandalorian, yeah, it's legit. There's Western music in the background and spurs, and there's going to be a shootout at the OK Corral, which kind of pulled me out a little bit. I think with the one thing that George did really well was kind of blend those influences seamlessly into Star Wars, as opposed to outright, this is a Western inspired Star Wars episode.
That's a really good point, actually. Because everyone always talks about how Mandalorian is good because they made it grungy and dusty and dirty again. But you're right, it does. It's this is a Western. It's a sci-fi Western.
Yeah, and a samurai film. There's samurai stuff in there. I mean, even when we were looking at, what was that? That was the Ahsoka episode. That was a samurai movie. She's running across the rooftops, and she's got her Shoto blade and cutting people up. That was totally a samurai movie.
Yeah. So now that we're talking about Mando, what do you think for season 3? Because I think the fact that we have all these new shows coming out, it seemed a lot more straightforward at the time. He's going to meet up with, there it is.
I love Mando. I don't know, dude. I have no idea. They totally ripped out the rug from underneath us with Grogu being gone.
Yeah, but what else were they going to do with him?
I don't know. They could have milked it for another season with what I assume they were going to do was milk it for another season with them going around looking for a Jedi. And then Luke showed up and I lost it, man. Oh my God. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I don't know. I don't know. That was the best thing they could have done, was they ripped our hearts out and then they filled it back up with love and joy. That was some of the best Star Wars I've seen since the originals.
Yeah, I feel you. Did you know it was Luke when he came in?
As soon as the X-Wing showed up, yeah. As soon as the X-Wing showed up, I knew it was Red 5, and I started.
But did you have chips down on that before the X-Wing came in? Were you yeah, it's gonna be Luke?
Oh no, not even close. Yeah, no. Part of me thought maybe Mace. I was thinking maybe Mace, or it was going to be Ezra.
Yeah, I hear you. So now that Luke's off with Grogu, that's kind of it's a total blind spot in a way, because it's we know where kind of all these other shows are going, but then they set this thing up with Luke and Grogu, and it's well, what the hell is going to happen now?
Yeah,
they didn't even springboard that into launching a new show. It's just they're gone now.
Yeah, that was it. That's what I'm saying. That's the best thing they could have ever done. They're you liked it? Wham! That's all you're getting.
Yeah.
See you next year.
That's funny. When I was in I originally went to university to become a gym teacher, and one of the biggest lessons I learned was teach introduce a game to the kids that they really enjoy, and stop the game while it's at its peak. Stop the game while the kids are having their most fun. Don't wait for it to fizzle out or wait for the clock. Like, end it so that they're left with that good feeling and are excited for the next thing.
That's an amazing tip. That's awesome. Yeah.
Which kind of goes with everything.
Yeah, and that's what happened in that last episode. So yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I could see Bo-Katan and Mando doing a Reclaim the Mandalore situation. I could see them, popping back and forth, and maybe we see a little bit of Luke, but I'm wondering if we're even going to see Grogu in season 3.
I don't think so. If I'm being honest, I think they're going to just completely go full Mandalorian, which is probably a good call for the show.
Yeah.
I don't know what else Grogu could do. I mean, he was the father figure. He was the protector.
Yeah.
That's it.
And even more still, how are you going to show growth? I mean, I don't know how Yoda's species ages, particularly within like the first 100 years, but we were talking about it, I think, in the voice chat the other day that Yoda was already like training Jedi at like 100. So really? What's gonna happen to Grogu? Does Yoda's species like have a immediate like puberty growth spurt where in 1 year they turn into a fully matured adult, or what?
Yeah, that's a good point. And that was very, very smart on Star Wars part. Just it's like the best long game ever. It's like it's throwing a Hail Mary and we're not going to see it come down for 100 years.
Yep. Yeah, I'm super proud of the whole Mandalorian team. They did well. I was feeling it kind of in the middle of the season. I was kind of feeling draggy, like when we got to the when we got to the ocean planet, it started to pick back up for me again. I think that's when I started really getting back into it.
Yeah, and with Grogu, like when Bad Batch was about to come out, it was all theories about Order 66. Is Grogu going to be there? And that just kind of like, it just went away, like completely. Like the talk about Grogu just gone.
I'm glad. I'm super glad because I'm a little weary of how they're trying to tie everything together. It seems like they definitely have this plan to do a Marvel Universe tie-in where all the characters show up on screen and they pan around everybody in a big, moment. And I'm like, well, maybe don't do that with Star Wars. That could be cool.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're not forcing everything to be tied together and everything has to be like, this perfect timeline of events, that makes me happy because I think a little bit of mystery goes a long way in wondering what happened.
That's a good point, because you end up in a situation where if it's all going to build to something, that something's going to come and then it's going to go. And then they're going to have to start over from scratch. It takes all the fun out of our hands. If everything's explained, then what do we have to talk about? That's the most fun part of Star Wars is speculating. Yep. Yeah. I remember after episode 9 came out and, people, I was going to say people raved about it, but not really. People ranted about it. People ripped it apart or whatever. And I did my fair share of complaining. I'm kind of moving on from that now because it's like beating a dead horse at this point.
Yeah.
But I remember I was looking at my folder of videos I wanted to do for Star Wars, and it was just empty. It was just I almost made a video about the fact that I had no Star Wars to speculate on.
That's so heartbreaking.
The title was going to be "The Well Is Dry." It was going to be a picture of a well in the thumbnail, and I was going to be like, "We need something else. We can't just leave it on episode 9. We need to theorize and speculate." And now we're in that time.
Yeah,
which is
absolutely.
Awesome.
Get new content, and don't give up on the EU either. There's so much good stuff in there. A bunch of good stuff. Revan is one of my favorite books. Darth Bane, his trilogy is absolutely stunning and violent and beautiful. I mean, it's all good stuff.
Are you into the video game? I've seen you stream a little bit Battlefront 2, but
yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's the only I'm gonna make some people mad right now. The only Star Wars game I have not played is Knights of the Old Republic.
Yep, I'm with you there.
People are
not going to discipline you.
They're like, that's the best one ever. And I tried to go back in and play it because they released it on Xbox, but I don't know if it was just the controls on the Xbox controller or what. I could not I couldn't do it. So I just read the books instead.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Why I haven't done it yet is because I don't have a gaming computer at all. I'm surprised that it even runs StreamYard, and I've got a PS4. It's like, yeah, that's just me nitpicking. That's why. But I'm with you. I'm the one person who's not going to judge you for it.
I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
So
I feel at home.
What about Fallen Order?
Fallen Order is great. I enjoyed that a lot. I don't know. There's always been something for me with lightsaber mechanics. I don't even know how to explain it. I just wish it felt a little bit more fluid. And people are like, that's some of the most fluid lightsaber combat I've ever seen. And I'm like, yeah, I would agree to a certain extent, but I mean, it still feels really kind of punchy to me. You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you. Did you ever play the Dark Souls games?
No, but everybody says this is just like Dark Souls with a lightsaber.
It's the closest comparison. Yeah. It's very much like attack when you have a window, roll, dodge, that's kind of the combat. It doesn't feel very like you said, fluid. But Battlefront 2 is surprisingly good. The lightsaber mechanics, once you really get into it and really get it down, the timing.
Yeah, I enjoy the lightsaber combat. I feel like the heroes move like styrofoam with toothpicks in it. I don't like their movement. But the actual fighting, when you get in front of somebody and you start fighting back and forth, that's a lot of fun.
Styrofoam with toothpicks. Yeah, it's very robotic until you're actually fighting.
Yeah, their shoulders are just stuck like this the whole time, and they're running around like.
Yeah, Luke's running like.
Yeah, there are some mistakes there, but I mean that game is so much better than it was at release. I don't even care anymore. I'm just glad to be playing it with friends again. Yeah,
absolutely. So we were talking crossovers a little bit. I do really want to see Cal Kestis live action.
Yeah, I do too. And that's the cool part about those video games now is that they're doing the face scans, so they can totally come into live action.
Very smart. Too bad they didn't do something more with Sam Witwer, because he's already the voice of Darth Maul. He's the face of Starkiller. It's like, I'm so close to having him live action.
They may do something. You never know, man. I mean, I don't know why Starkiller just got that whole Force Unleashed thing just got like shunned into oblivion. They're like, no, Starkiller's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. He's way too OP. I'm like, it's a fantasy game. I mean, it's all fantasy. Obviously, they're Star Wars, but I'm not taking it as like canon and it has to be taken seriously. Just enjoy it.
Yeah. And now that you mentioned this, I'm thinking of like, if they did a crossover thing, because we talked about how that. Okay.
Did your cat just die? What was that?
My dog lay down. He stretched his leg out and he like pushed a box along the floor. But like how a big crossover thing might be bad because it pinnacles Star Wars. But like it'd be cool if they did something like the Spider-Verse, where like they did one movie and they brought in like, Starkiller, and they brought in some sequel characters, and they brought in some things that they've kind of shunned, and like for one movie, pulled them in for something.
Yeah, I don't know why we can't. I mean, the problem is there's this whole thing between canon and not canon, and because of this like extreme kind of, it's not gatekeeping, but like this bubble around the canon, we're not allowed to have fun and just make a movie and be like, yeah, it's just Star Wars. It's not supposed to be canon for the universe, but it's just a fun Star Wars movie.
Yeah. But they kind of already opened the door to this with the World Between Worlds, But I think they're also very scared to do anything with that.
Yeah, you have to be careful because that is canon now. You know what I mean? And so they've opened up the door for the possibility to have, alternate universes, but now are those alternate universes canon? And then you have universe line arguments about what's canon for each and which alternate timeline is the true canon. It's like, maybe just make a movie and be like, this is for fun.
Yeah, honestly. Like with comic books and superheroes like Marvel, DC, like if there's a different story, comics were made 50 years ago, it's like, oh, it's a different universe. Oh, it's a different universe. No second thoughts. But Star Wars, it's so much more protected. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We're psychopaths about it.
It's too precious to be broken. But that kind of does cage us a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I would love to see. Yeah, if the Coder is getting a remake, and it's not just a port like the other ones. It's an actual remake.
Yeah, I'm also kind of holding off for that reason as well.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play through it until that, and they're gonna change the mechanics too from kind of like that turn-based combat, I think, to more like a hack and slash, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, yeah, I'll wait on that one. Star Wars Commando is next on my list.
Oh man, Commando is so much fun. I played the jeebers out of that game when I was a kid.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
console did you have growing up?
Started with the Sega. I had a Sega, yeah, I had a Sega, and then I moved to the N64. It was big timing on the N64, and then I didn't have anything for a while, and then I got a PlayStation 2, and then an Xbox 360, and then the Xbox One.
Okay. You didn't do the GameCube, hey?
My brother had a GameCube. We used to play, Super.
Okay, so you got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, it was. He guarded that thing with his life, but when I got to play, it was a lot of fun. I was a big Legend of Zelda guy, so all of those were pretty important.
I still play Smash Bros. On a GameCube.
Nice,
that
man.
game never died. This is going off Star Wars, but there's a really committed diehard community for Smash Bros. Melee exclusively.
Really?
They shun everything else. I mean, the newest one is kind of more accepted, but there's people.
I haven't played any since N64.
Still going to tournaments with tube TVs and stuff because they say the flat screens, there's too much of a delay between the characters and the GameCube. It's very intense. Yeah.
That's insane.
I went to one tournament and I got my ass kicked, but it was fun.
That's crazy. My brother actually, because we go to visit him for Christmas, we were playing N64 Smash Bros. In December, and just like old times, man, settling old arguments over Smash Bros.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to think what Star Wars stuff was out for the N64? Like the pod racing game, I know.
There was pod racing, there was Rogue Squadron, which was absolutely one of my favorites. Shadows of the Empire was another awesome one. Dash Rendar story is just iconic as hell. You get to kill Boba Fett. It's crazy.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I don't know that there were any other ones for the N64. I'm sure I'm missing something, but those were kind of my three big ones: Pod Racer, Shadows of the Empire, and Rogue Squadron.
Did you play Bounty Hunter for your PS2?
Nope, never played it.
No.
My buddy had it, and he said it like would literally give him headaches when he played it. So
it's so funny you say that. I played through that game on my channel, and it was like rage-inducing, like borderline screaming. Like I was like, some of those games, I was like 4 drinks in because it's like I gotta get through. I already committed to this game. I gotta get through it.
No way.
I did a video on it. It's like a 15-minute in-depth review and breakdown if the game still holds up.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll have to watch that because I'm not going to play it. I mean, that's what I've heard is basically, it's rage-inducing.
But the lore is really good.
Is it?
It's playing it for the lore alone is really good. Unfortunately, you have to get through the gameplay, which is rough. But it sets up Jango Fett to be the clone template. The whole.
Okay. So
am I spoiling it?
Makes sense. No, not at all. So canonically, it does make sense. It's not like some kind of crazy story.
It's between episode 1 and 2.
Yeah,
and it's basically. Do you mind if I spoil it for you, or do you want to
go nuts? Yeah, no, absolutely.
Just in a nutshell, the whole thing is a goose chase set up by Dooku to find out who would be the best template for the clone army. So he has these multiple bounty hunters all chasing the same goal, and then at the very end, you kind of duke it out with the other, the one other bounty hunter who's also a Mandalorian, an ex-Mandalorian. And at the end, you end up fighting a Sith. And then that's the ultimate test. Dooku wants you to fight this Sith chick.
Oh my God.
And then after you beat her, he's like, hey, you want to make some money?
Hey, time to have some kids.
Yeah. There's a really cool cutscene and of him negotiating with Dooku.
Who's the really Sith that he fights?
What's her name?
Is she Twi'lek?
No, she uses she reminds me of Asajj Ventress, Sith in Bounty. It's unprofessional hunter game. I'm curious if you know her name. No, this is taking longer than 15 seconds, so I'm going to give up. But yeah, it's cool. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the games that I played when I was a kid. I had a GameCube, and they had this was episode 2 era where you were in ships. The whole game was in ships, and you just fought each other in ships.
I think that's one I missed from N64, or maybe it's the same one. Are you talking about Naboo Starfighter?
No, I know which one you're talking about. It's not that one, but it was for GameCube. So.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
Kamari Vosa.
Okay, that sounds right. I don't even think they ever mention her name, but she's pretty wild looking.
Yeah, she's like a human female with like red skin and Sith eyes.
Red skin. I feel like she had silver skin. I don't know. I guess it's canon because they remastered it. So, and I think that's how Star Wars. I think that's how Star Wars works now, right? If they remaster something, I'm assuming it's canon.
I don't know. I'll have to talk to my guy at Lucasfilm. I don't have one. I wish I did.
Yeah, well, that's like, is Commando canon?
Well, I would assume so because they showed up in was that Clone Wars? They all showed up in Clone Wars, so.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but yeah, that sounds familiar.
They came out of a shuttle. I'm trying to remember what episode it was, but they come out and they're there.
Yeah, that makes me wonder. I mean, like, I'm probably making this up right now. Like, this whole remastering makes it canon, but like, I don't know why they would re-release something if they weren't like behind it. You know?
Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like, if they remastered Force Unleashed and then they called that canon, you'd be in a world of hurt in terms of what was actually going on. You know what I mean?
I wonder if they're afraid to remaster games because of that. Because like maybe new people are going to play things they didn't know about, and they're going to be like, "Wait, how does this fit in?"
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't think they're that for games. I don't think they're worried about canon. Moving forward, new stuff that they release for sure. I think so, but yeah, it's technically Legends. Yeah, so that's what Team Money just said. So the Commandos showed up in Clone Wars, but that doesn't mean that the stuff that they did in Commando is considered canon. Yeah.
So this is a Bad Batch question, because the Commandos are like, I haven't played the game. It's installed on my PS4. It's my next thing to do. But they're like a tight-knit unit, right? That I'm assuming goes on whatever missions. And Bad Batch has that similar feel.
Sort of, kind of, not really. Everybody's kind of got their own personality in the Commandos for sure. But Bad Batch is like really specialized what everybody does. They almost have like their superpowers. Whereas with the Commandos, it's like you got a demolitions guy and then a sniper, squad leader, and then a hacker.
That sounds like you're describing Bad Batch as well.
I know, but I mean, I'm trying to think of like who. Yeah, actually, yeah. I'm like, well, who's the sniper? Crosshair. Well, who's demolitions? Like, well, okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. You're just not all shaped super differently, I guess, in Commandos.
Yeah. Except I feel like, and I've been considering maybe doing a video on this with Echo. Echo seems to really not. I don't know. Like, it was a good setup from Clone Wars. Into Bad Batch, but it seems like Echo doesn't really have a super big role in the show.
No, but that may change. It's early yet. I feel like there are so many tendrils of plots that are just open in the air right now, and we haven't seen any of them kind of really take off in a direction that it's tough to say where it's going to go. Because by like the third episode, we had like 4 or 5 different plots that could potentially go somewhere, and they're still just kind of hanging out. Like, where's Tarkin? Where are the Kaminoans? Like, what is everybody doing right now? Yeah,
they're taking their time. But there's isn't there going to be like over 20 episodes on this?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to run like well into November.
Yeah. Okay.
So well, that'll be awesome.
Then. They can take their time.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, and I hope they take their time. Everybody's just anxious right now. We're all so anxious,
Yeah, that's true. Well, like, I feel like Mandalorian was kind of like almost we settled in for a movie, right? And it was like, I don't know. I've always felt satisfied, but with Bad Batch, I think probably just because it's animated and it's shorter, you wait all week, and then it kind of ends up being a milk run.
Yeah, I think they probably should have done it. If it were me, I probably would have just released them, all of them. you know, kind of like a season 7 thing where everything just drops and you can sit and watch the whole thing, and then you can sit and talk for a year about them. Or if you want to, you can wait and watch one every week, you know.
True. Gives us Star Wars creators something to talk about every week.
Yeah.
Are
but
you
it does. It sucks if you wait till midnight and you're like, okay,
you stayed up, yeah.
I'm going to bed.
Yeah, that's 2 a.m. where I'm at. I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So with I'm just trying to think like where they're like you said, there's too many tendrils. I don't even know. The predictions are always so up in the air, and then the next week happens and that doesn't happen, and it's like I don't know. Are you kind of into that scene as like a YouTube creator? Like, would you think could you see yourself doing watch parties, breaking down episodes?
I've never understood watch parties where like you're just watching the person stare at a screen. You know what I mean? For me, it doesn't really make sense, but a lot of people enjoy it. And so if they want me to do it, yeah, absolutely. I'll totally do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they queue it up with you, but it's like I don't even do that with Star Wars Theory. It's like I'm watching that in my watching that on my own time, and even if I do, I don't think that'll give people a good enough reaction unless Luke Skywalker shows up or something. Then I'll literally be screaming.
Yeah, that would be, dude. If I had done a watch party for that, I mean, Theory and I were in pretty much the same boat that whole time.
Yeah. I think I might do a watch party for Kenobi because that's the only thing that I could really see myself actually freaking out about.
Yeah, I think that's probably the one. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it on Kenobi, just because that's like, I'm probably going to be like Misty within like the intro of the first episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like Kenobi's. My dog's name is Obi.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, they're kind of approaching an hour, so Kenobi's a whole can of worms. Maybe we should save that for another time.
Up to you, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it a little bit. Fuck it.
Yeah.
So
I'm here.
Yeah. Do you have anything that you're really hoping to see?
Yeah, I really want to see the Maul fight.
You think Maul's going to be in Kenobi?
I don't. Okay, so I was talking to Braden about this, and I don't know, just because I don't really know where the time frame is at on the Kenobi show or how long it's going to spread. But Kathleen Kennedy was being kind of tone deaf, and I'm wondering if she made a mistake when she said it's going to be the rematch of the century when she was talking about Kenobi. And everybody's like, no, because Vader, no. And I'm like, she talking about Maul? I think she was talking about Maul. So if it makes sense in a time frame, I want to see that. Yeah.
Do you think that she's big-brained enough to make a statement like that, knowing that it's going to incite a conversation?
I don't.
Or you think she just screwed up?
She's so tone deaf when it comes to the fandom. She's just absolutely tone deaf. I don't even really like. A lot of people like hate her as a person. I don't hate her as a person. I just think she's a terrible businesswoman.
Yeah.
You got to talk to the people, you know. And she's been like hiding in a basement.
Yeah, she's a little bit out of her league. I mean, I know she's worked on some big stuff in the past, but
yeah. You got to engage with the fans, and that's just not. I mean, we have seen it, but not the right way, you know.
So where is Maul at the time?
He was. I don't know. I have to look at my timelines. We don't have that information yet. Yeah, because that ruins Rebels though, because Rebels was 5 years before A New Hope. Yeah, that wouldn't work.
Wait,
I didn't know. Stand by while we rack our brains.
That does make sense. I don't know. I mean,
well, fine then. Just make Rebels non-canon, and we'll enjoy us some Obi-Wan and Maul fight. I want it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, do you think did Star Wars not scratch the Maul itch for you enough? Or you just love Maul, you just want to see as much of him as you can?
Yeah, Maul was just kind of like, I mean, that's my OG villain. I mean, he's the coolest freaking guy in the world. I just remember when that freaking hangar bay opened up and that Zabrak popped out that lightsaber and 2 blades came out, I'm like, well, I can die now. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And that
Yeah.
music for Duel of the Fates, like that, it's just concreted. And for me, it's kind of weird. Like the Rebels and Clone Wars version of Maul, I love Sam and everything he does. It just feels like a different Maul than we got in episode 1 to me.
Yeah, it was really something special.
Yeah, it's a good Maul. It's just I think it's a different Maul.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, it was really cool that they worked together for season 7, though.
Yeah. Have you seen the videos of him doing the mocap for the fight?
I have. I actually made a Darth Maul tribute video where I like.
Oh, did you?
It's a tribute where it's Sam and Rey squished together with like music and whatever.
That's
check it out if you want to. But
yeah, no, absolutely. As soon as we get off, I'm gonna go watch that.
Do you like Darth Maul more than Boba Fett?
Different trilogies, can't compare. Yeah,
because I might rustle your feathers with this statement, but I feel like I would much rather see, instead of the Book of Boba, because I don't know if Boba Fett's going to have enough personality to carry on an entire show by himself, but Din didn't really either, so maybe that doesn't matter. But I would kind of like to see a show about Darth Maul with the exact same premise. Darth Maul running the crime scene.
Yeah, and there may be some of that, The thing with Boba is, like, with any Mandalorian, it's the quiet gunslinger. Like, it's a timeless character. But having said that, it's kind of tough because you already have that with Mando. So do you double down and try to do another one, or do you try to tell a really emotional story about Boba and what happens right after the Sarlacc pit? And then you're like, okay, well, now we have basically a hermit in the desert who's lost everything. Well, we already have that. We have Kenobi coming. So
it's a good point.
Tough. Yeah, it's tough to say if he's going to be telling stories to Fennec Shand or what.
Yeah, if they were maybe so excited about having Boba Fett back that they just gave him his own show, and then, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be awesome, and we all love Boba Fett, so like it's going to be a home run, I'm sure. But
yeah, I like Pudgy Boba. Everybody hated on Pudgy Boba. I'm like, dude, I'm nearing my 30s and I'm drinking a lot of beer. Like, Pudgy Boba's kind of endearing to me, man. I like him.
Yeah, me too. It was kind of like it really made you feel like, okay, this is the real guy. Like, they didn't just slide him in for the helmet takeoff. It's like they got the real guy, which is kind of authentic, I guess.
Yeah. And he plays the blues. Come on.
Does he play the blues? Did
you see that? I was in the extras for season 2. Tamara's got a guitar and he's singing and playing the blues on the guitar on the set in his Boba armor. It's awesome.
Yeah, okay. That's the first thing I'm doing after this.
That's pretty legendary.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, a lot of shows to speculate on. It's a great time to be a Star Wars fan. I think I think we could just keep going, but I'm gonna wrap it up here. We're gonna keep it tight in an hour. Just like gym class. Things are good. We're gonna cut it here.
Leave it on a good note.
We'll pick it up another time. I'm sure I'll pop in on Hangar Bay one of these days. And
I was gonna say, we're on Sunday. Feel free to drop by.
Okay, sounds good, man. Well, thank you so much for coming by on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any projects or anything you want to plug?
Nope.
His channel's in the description. Go see his channel.
Okay, that's what. Yeah. Come and see me. Come see the channel. Yeah, more than anything, I just want people to keep jumping in the community with all of my buddies in the Discord. They're awesome. And if you can't or don't know how or are intimidated to get into Discord, don't. Braden can help you out. And if you really don't want to, then just come hang out in the chats, man. Everybody shows up in the chats for the live stream, so you can make friends there.
Well, thank you so much, man. This was a blast. An hour flew by. I'm looking forward to
quick.
I'm looking forward to working with you again in the future. And this is the part where I end the broadcast. So, all right.
We'll
see you guys.